Good morning, everybody. Oh, wait a minute. Not morning. Because I just got done setting intentions and manifesting things because it was 1:11 a moment ago. Anyway, it is yet another beautiful day to be on the road and traveling across this beautiful country of ours. I jumped in because I wanted to tell you something. I mean, small world, right? And I look like the wreck of the Hesperus. This is day 4 on the road, and so we're not talking about how I look, because we're just not. And what difference does it make anyway? So I pulled off at a, both dogs were whining a little bit, like that, not barking, not, I'm in pain or anything like that, but just that annoying little high pitch, like something is bothering me. And it dawned on me, they haven't had any water since breakfast, and it's, it's warm out. So I thought, okay, as soon as I find someplace to pull off, we'll get you guys some water, get you out of the car for a little while, take a break. So I pulled into, not a rest area, it's just a parking area. And when I first pulled in, the only thing that was there was a tractor trailer in front of me. And then as I'm getting the dogs out of the car, I look, what's pulling in. And at first glance, I was like, oh my gosh, it's another R-Pod. Well, it turned out not to be an R-Pod. It was a Forest River product, another small, ultralight, similar to mine, but different branding. So, they pulled up right behind me, and we're kind of eyeballing each other, right? Like trying to scope things out, like, oh, what do you got there? And how's that different from mine? And what are you towing with? And blah, 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 blah. So nobody says anything yet, and I'm working on getting the dogs' harnesses on so I can get them out of the car. And they're, kind of standing around by their tow rig and glancing over at mine, and nobody says a word. So there was a really beautiful grassy area down a little walkway with some picnic tables. So I started walking down the path to get to those, and I was just sitting there, and then I hear the wife say, do you want to take a walk down there? It looks really nice. And he's like, yeah, sure. So they come walking my way, and finally the guy speaks up and he says, I couldn't help but notice your pod. And I said, I couldn't help but notice your rig. So then we started talking, and at first we're just talking tow rigs and gas mileage. Ouch. I don't want to talk about gas mileage while towing. So here's the rules. We're not talking about my appearance because it doesn't matter. We're not talking about gas mileage while towing because there's nothing I can do about it. So, there you go. There's those two. More rules may crop up. I don't know. Anyway, so we're talking about that, and he's like, how long you been on the road? I said, this is day 4. I'm heading home. And he said, do you realize we've put on 8,000 miles this trip, and yours is the first Vermont plate that we've seen, the whole trip. And I said, you like Vermont? And he's like, we're from Vermont. I was like, no way. And he said, you're from Vermont too, right? And I said, yeah. And he was like, where do you live? I said, way up on the Canadian border. The wife says, us too. I said, where? She says, a little place called, an area called the Northeast Kingdom. And I was like, no, you don't. And he was like, yeah, we do. And I was like, I'm from the kingdom. And he was like, no way. Where? I said, Derby. They both said together, Glover. What are the chances? What are the chances on them putting on 8,000 miles, me putting on 2,000 miles, round trip, and somewhere in the middle of I do know where. We were in a little town called Antwerp, New York, of 2 kingdomites just randomly running into each other. So we actually sat there and we talked for probably the better part of 30 minutes about camping and about Forest River, which is a parent company for both of our campers. And, you know, does yours have this and blah, blah, blah. Oh, and does yours have that? And it was just so much fun. And I made a point before we parted ways of introducing myself by my first name and asking their names. And would you believe I am so bad with names? Here we are less than 20 minutes after the encounter. I already can't remember either one of their names, and I feel so bad. Anyway, really nice people, and it was just one of those very human moments that was just awesome. And I think that we probably could have sat there and talked a lot longer until I looked at my watch and I said, well, ain't neither one of us getting any closer to home. And they both started laughing and said, no, you're right. So we went our separate ways, and I was just really, really grateful for the encounter. I just have a really grateful heart this morning. Grateful for how well everything has gone, and grateful for the persistent sunshine that keeps my house battery charged right up, even though it runs the refrigerator and freezer while I'm driving down the road. We've had so much sun, the battery just stays fully charged, and I'm kind of loving that. Anyway, I just wanted to pop in and say hi and say that you really realize how small a world it is when you start to break out of that little cocoon that we live in. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will be, my ETA to the kingdom is 4 hours and 32 minutes. And the closer I get, the more excited I become, because, you know, Dorothy was right. There's no place like home. That's not really true. There's a lot of places that are almost as awesome as home. They just don't happen to contain my family. I need a rig I can just pack everybody. No, that will never work. By the time I get where I'm going, I'll look in the back and they will have all killed one another. So, anyway, I'm sure I'm the only one who has a family like that. Take care, and I will be closer to you all, providing you live close to me in the first place, in about 4 hours. In the meantime, have a great day. Oh no, have whatever kind of day you want to have. Or if you're a shithead, have the kind of day you deserve. Dude, was that really necessary? I gotta pay attention.